evening. In a different country. Good morning. What day is today? Friday? Saturday? Friday. One day before Husker. Captain Husker's here today to do a series of flights that I'm probably going to do this football season. We're going to try to do some flights each weekend or whatnot for the Husker football, volleyball, basketball, whatever. Just charter flights and such. This flight today is I'm working on the flight radar and see which flights are coming into town. And this one here is a very nice plane. The flight number for it is through the Wheels Up private aircraft. Wheels Up 93. So I kind of just put it together from Tampa. Out Sioux. Damn it, Sioux. You might. Anyway, so I thought it'd be fun to just kind of like that flight from Tampa Bay. And it's in a Cessna Citation X, which is a super fast plane, super cool plane. I don't really know how to fly it, so we're going to be kind of figuring it out as I go. Just got this plane, and there might be some hiccups along the way. But that's life. We'll be on VATSIM as WUP93 for Wheels Up 93. Right now there's no controllers on, so and I'm the only one at Tampa. So this is going to be, in real life, this would be a 2.5 hour flight or so. I have a haircut appointment in 2 hours, or an hour and 45 minutes, so I'm going to just fast forward a little bit when we get in the air, do a little time warp so that I can get it done in this time. Alright, so I think I set everything up and ready to roll. And yeah, I chose a paint scheme here that looks kind of like the one on the Dolphin. Coming from Florida, so we decided to do that. This is the exact plane. Flies super fast once it gets up there. Alright, I don't think my voice is coming. Alright, so let's see if I can fix that. Alright, I think everything's ready to go. Lights on. Going down. Fairly near the runway here. We're going to be taking off on one right. We are on the way. Like I said, I don't normally fly this plane, so gonna have to be figuring out some of the things. Altitude is going to be 38,000. Heading for this. Super excited for this weekend. Good game. Hopefully we win, but Michigan has got a good quarterback, good mobile quarterback, and Nebraska always has problems with mobile quarterbacks. So we'll see. Whoa. Alright. Tampa traffic, wheels up 93. Departing runway 1 right to the north. Tampa traffic. Alright, here we go. Lined up on the runway. Again, I don't know this planes. I probably did something wrong on the setup. Tampa traffic, wheels up 93 is clear of one right, Tampa traffic. good to head towards London, but I think this thing's actually heading towards Lacey, which is fine. Alright, climbing out of... This might get loud. Crossing 10,000 feet. This thing's pressurizing. Looks like it is. It passes out. Flaps are up. Plane is accelerated to 300 knots. And we're climbing.
to roar. Volleyball champs light up the scoreboard. Coldfield's fire with the bossy streak, but she rocks that headset, she runs this beat. I'm Captain Husker, skybound strong, flying high and singing big red songs from kickoff time to touchdown dance. Spike it home like me on this chance. Go Big Red, that's how we roll. With heart, grit, and football soul, until great delusions bring their best. We'll sweep them like the rest. Football skiing on a Saturday night. Volleyball queens bring that Midwest fight. Black shirts blitz like a tailwind gale. We light it up when we hit that trail. Go Pilots, you got that coach like sass. She'll call my rude, then smack my dash. Got a bottle in the hand and it stayed on my back. And a YouTube buddy flying high in the back. Southwest 420 big chill mode. Iowa, Michigan, we overload. Buckeyes talk, we let them whine while we circle back and fly that line. I'm Captain Huskers, proud and loud. Touching down through a red-clad crowd. We bring the heat and the tailgate smoke. We leave Big Ten dreams up in smoke. Go Big Reds, I'd bite and mail. It bangs, rings, and everything. We'll take off clear to final shred. This flight is Go Big Red.
Once we get up to cruising altitude.
Go Big Red.
Time acceleration.
Go Big Red. Woo. Got my boots on the pedals, birds in the sky.
Nobody's watching the video. Don't expect it to. It's 10:30 in the morning on Friday.
Flying through the clouds, heading west by west. Lincoln inside, fans start to roar. Volleyball champs light up the scoreboard. Coldfield's fire with the bossy streak, but she rocks that headset, she runs this beat. I'm Captain Husker, skybound strong, flying high and singing big red songs from kickoff time to touchdown dance. Spike it home like me on this chance. Go Big Red, that's how we roll. With heart, grit, and football soul, until great delusions bring their best. We'll sweep them like the rest. Football's king on a Saturday night. Volleyball queens bring that Midwest fight. Black shirts blitz like a tailwind gale. We light it up when we hit that trail. Go Pilots, you got that coach like sass. She'll call my rude, then smack my dash. Got a throttle in the hand and it stayed on my back. And a YouTube buddy flying high in the back. Southwest 420 big chill mode. Iowa, Michigan, we overload. Buckeyes talk, we let them whine while we circle back and fly that line. I'm Captain Huskers, proud and loud. Touching down through a red-clad crowd. We bring the heat and the tailgate smoke. And leave Big Ten dreams up in smoke. Go Big Reds, I'd bite and mail. It bangs, rings, and everything. We'll take off clear to final tread. This flight is Go Big Red. Go Big Red. Go Big Red. Woo. Got my boots on the pedals, birds in the sky. 737 rolling like a tailgate high. Corn Husker red on my cap and vest. Flying through the clouds, heading west by west. Lincoln inside, fans start to roar. Volleyball champs light up the scoreboard. Coldfield's fire with the bossy streak, but she rocks that headset, she runs this beat. I'm Captain Husker, skybound strong, flying high and singing big red songs from kickoff time to touchdown dance. Spike it home like me on this chance. Go Big Red, that's how we roll. With heart, grit, and football soul, until great delusions bring their best. We'll sweep them like the rest. Football's king on a Saturday night. Volleyball queens bring that Midwest fight. Black shirts blitz like a tailwind gale. We light it up when we hit that trail. Go Pilots, you got that coach like sass. She'll call my rude, then smack my dash. Got a throttle in hand and it stayed on my back. And a YouTube buddy flying high and back. Southwest 420 big chill mode. Iowa, Michigan, we overload. Buckeyes talk, we let them whine while we circle back and fly.
Alright, so far uneventful, which is good, I guess.
Captain Huskers, proud and loud.
We were in the actual back of it. Microwaves, hand sanitizer, some drinks. I have no idea how to get up and walk around. Close the windows here. Nice.
Lincoln inside, fans start to roar. Volleyball champs light up the scoreboard. Copeland's fire with the bossy streak, but she rocks that headset, she runs this lead. I'm Captain Husker, skybound strong. Flying high and singing big red songs from kickoff time to touchdown dance. It's like at home, like beyond this chance. No big red, that's how we roll. With heart, grit, and football soul. Tell Crate Deluges bring their best. We'll sweep them like the rest. Football's king on a Saturday night. Volleyball queens bring that Midwest fight. Black shirts blitz like a tailwind gale. We light it up when we hit that trail. Go Pilots, you
There we go. Let's do top crime here.
Go Big Red. Woo. Got my boots on the pedals, birds in the sky. 737 rolling like a tailgate high. Cornhusker red on my cap and vest. Flying through the clouds, heading west by west. Lincoln inside, fans start to roar. Volleyball champs light up the scoreboard. Copefield's fire with the bossy streak, but she rocks that headset, she runs this lead. I'm Captain Husker, skybound strong. Flying high and singing big red songs from kickoff time to touchdown dance. It's like at home, like beyond this chance. Go Big Red, that's how we roll. With heart, grit, and football soul. Tell Crate Deluges bring their best. We'll sweep them like the rest. Football's king on a Saturday night. Volleyball queens bring that Midwest fight. Black shirts blitz like a tailwind gale. We light it up when we hit that trail. Go Pilots, you got that coach like sass. She'll call my rude, then smack my dash. Got a throttle in hand and it stayed on my back.
1,000 feet.
And a YouTube buddy flying high and back. Southwest 420 big chill mode. Iowa, Michigan, we overload. Buckeyes talk, we let them whine while we circle back and fly. Proud and loud, touching down through a red-clad crowd. We bring the heat and the tailgate smoke and leave
baby.
final trip. This flight is
Speed
go
on up.
Big Red. Go Big Red.
Flying right up the coast.
Go Big Red. Woo. Got my boots on the pedals, birds in the sky. 737 rolling like a tailgate high. Corn husker red on my cap and vest. Flying through the clouds, heading west by west. Lincoln inside, fans start to roar. Volleyball champs light up the scoreboard. Coldfield's fire with the bossy streak, but she rocks that headset, she runs this bleed. I'm Captain Husker, skybound strong. Flying high and singing big red songs from kickoff time to touchdown dance. Spike it home like we own this chance. Go Big Red, that's how we roll. With heart, grit, and football soul. They'll create the Blue Jays, bring their best. We'll sweep them like the rest. Football's king on a Saturday night. Volleyball queens bring that Midwest fight. Black shirts blitz like a tailwind gale. We light it up when we hit that trail. Go Pies, you got that coast like sass. She'll call my rude, then smack my dash. Got a throttle in hand and a state on my back. And a YouTube buddy flying high in the back. Southwest 420 big chill mode. Iowa, Michigan, we overload. Buckeyes talk, we let them whine while we circle back and fly that line. I'm Captain Huskers, proud and loud. Touching down through a red-clad crowd. We bring the heat and the tailgate smoke. We leave Big Ten dreams up in smoke. Go Big Reds, I'd bite and mail. With bangs, rings, and everything. From takeoff clear to final trip. This flight is go Big Red. Go Big Red. Go Big Red. Woo. Got my boots on the pedals, birds in the sky. 737 rolling like a tailgate high. Corn husker red on my cap and vest. Flying through the clouds, heading west by west. Lincoln inside, fans start to roar. Volleyball champs light up the scoreboard. Coldfield's fire with the bossy streak, but she rocks that headset, she runs this bleed. I'm Captain Husker, skybound strong. Flying high and singing big red songs from kickoff time to touchdown dance. Spike it home like we own this chance. Go Big Red, that's how we roll. With heart, grit, and football soul. They'll create the Blue Jays, bring their best. We'll sweep them like the rest. Football's king on a Saturday night. Volleyball queens bring that Midwest fight. Black shirts blitz like a tailwind gale. We light it up when we hit that trail. Go Pies, you got that coast like sass. She'll call my rude, then smack my dash. Got a throttle in hand and a state on my back. And a YouTube buddy flying high in the back. Southwest 420 big chill mode. Iowa, Michigan, we overload. Buckeyes talk, we let them whine while we circle back and fly that line. I'm Captain Huskers, proud and loud. Touching down through a red-clad crowd. We bring the heat and the tailgate smoke. And leave Big Ten dreams up in smoke. Go Big Reds, I'd bite and mail. With bangs, rings, and everything. From takeoff clear to final trip. This flight is go Big Red. Go Big Red. Go Big Red. Woo. Husker, skybound strong. Flying high and singing big red songs from kickoff time to touchdown dance. Spike it home like we own this chance. Go Big Red, that's how we roll. With heart, grit, and football soul. Until great delusions bring their best. We'll sweep them like the rest. Football's king on a Saturday night. Volleyball queens bring that Midwest fight. Black shirts blitz like a tailwind gale. We light it up when we hit that trail. Go Pilots, you got that coach like sass. She'll call my rude, then smack my dash. Got a throttle in hand and a state on my back. And a YouTube buddy flying high in the back. Southwest 420 big chill mode. Iowa, Michigan, we overload. Buckeyes talk, we let them whine while we circle back and fly that line. I'm Captain Huskers, proud and loud, touching down through a red-clad crowd. We bring the heat and the tailgate smoke, leave Big Ten dreams up in smoke. Go Big Red, side fight and meadow with veins, rings, and everything. From takeoff clear to final trip, this flight is Go Big Red.
Alright, we are at 2 times speed right now. Not that anyone's even watching this or caring. But it's fun. We are leaving the Jacksonville center space, heading into Atlanta, I believe. And we're over Alabama. Approaching Montgomery. Carrying our VIPs to Lincoln, Nebraska for the football game tomorrow. So after the haircut, I'll come back. I gotta. Anyway, at some point today, I have 2 more flights to do. I'm gonna do another VIP flight for the Bussin' with the Boys. They're gonna be coming from Nashville, I assume. I saw a flight coming in from Nashville for a private jet, so I'll do the Nashville to Lincoln. It's a shorter flight. And then we'll fly the Michigan team from shows that they're leaving Detroit, the Delta 757, heading to Lincoln, and they'll be sometime around 5 o'clock tonight. I'll do that flight too. I think the volleyball team's still at home. I think. Check it. Yep, we play Arizona tomorrow night for the volleyball team. At home. I'm trying to figure out why there's a Sun Country flight coming in from Reno. Yep, no reason.
All in traffic, Delta 3133 is 15 miles out, runway 11 northwest.
Near traffic now, so hopefully this slows the plane down. Let's see, a clock. I can't really tell from back to normal speed or not. So when the weather all loads in, the planers are going to jump around, see how it reacts.
We took the brand new Fairway Hybrid 357 from performance golf to the test. Deep bunker, thick rough.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Matt Rule.
Yeah, Coach!
How you doing,
Matt
Coach?
ruled it on the.
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Life is good. Thank you so much for joining us. How is life over there in Nebraska? Obviously, we've been winning by a lot. We've been setting precedent. Now we got a huge one where you're underdogs at home. What is the mindset this weekend?
I think we're excited. This is an excellent football team coming in. It's the Big Ten opener. And as you said, it's a ranked opponent. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere here. And we think we have a pretty good team. So we're expecting a heck of a game. A lot of fun.
The Bussin' Bowl is obviously what this has been dubbed because Taylor Lewan, I think 5-star recruit out of high school, first-round draft pick, incredibly handsome, very tall, represents Michigan. And Will Compton, the walk-on, undrafted, busted grill, 9-year linebacker special team dog, represents the Nebraska Cornhuskers from the Bussin' with the Boys podcast. Obviously, they've tried to make this a thing for a few years now. This year feels like getting very real in the momentum. And I feel like you guys have your best team for this, and I think Michigan, as being favored, they feel in a good spot as well. Is this the perfect time for the Bussin' Bowl to actually launch into real in-season hype and expectation?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we played the game 2 years ago, and it was, everyone was here. Will was here, Taylor was here, and we didn't, they were a much better team, and it wasn't a very close game. And so, it'll be a great game. Two really good teams, and it's what the Big Ten should be all about. Good rivalries. We're not too far away from each other. I'm sure they'll bring a lot of fans. Our fans will be ready. And it'll be a great college football game to go along with all the other games.
All right, let's talk about the on-field stuff. Cincinnati was able to run a little bit first night, obviously. Quarterback able to move as well. Is that the big conversation point for your team? Is we're going to have to stop Michigan's run, even though Biff is the acting head coach and he let Bryce spin it a little bit more than maybe Sharon. But we got to stop the run? Is the only mindset on the defensive side?
Yeah, they're 15th in the country in rushing offense, and to your point, last week, quarterback was the leading rusher. So the things that bothered us against Cincinnati, they ran for 200 yards, and over 100 of that was the quarterback. Just Sorsby from Cincinnati dropped back and found a hole and ran, and we didn't have a great answer for it. Obviously, that hasn't hurt us the past 2 weeks, but we're facing a whole different animal now. And so, big physical O-line. That's what Michigan football is, right? They're gonna run the ball and stop the run. It's true Big Ten football, and now they have a quarterback who can also run. So our guys are gonna have to defend the run and defend the quarterback run, to play well.
Have you seen Bryce at Big Ten days? Have you seen this 17-year-old as of a month ago, now 18-year? Have you had eyes on this guy in real life?
No, I haven't. It's weird now with the Big Ten because there's 18 teams. They do 3 days, and they do I think 6 teams each. Of the 5 other teams than us, the only team that we played while we were there was Maryland. It was Rutgers, it was Ohio State, it was a bunch of teams that we don't even face this year. So it's really like the NFL, man. You don't know who you're going to face. Even the Bussin' Bowl, we faced them 2 years ago, not last year. We faced them this year. It's a rotating schedule, but he's really talented, elite recruit. And he's done a great job for them. We think we have a really good quarterback too, and so excited to go compete.
Yeah, tell me about Dylan. Obviously, this is the biggest game of the year. Much more comfortable where he's at. Emmett, obviously a dog in the backfield. Tell us about your offense a little bit, taking on this Michigan defense with, a defense that hunts over there in Michigan. Always going to bring a lot of different disguises and everything like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's Wink Martindale. He's one of my favorite coordinators in the National Football League. He's brought it to college. I mean, they're elite up front. They can blitz. They can show a bunch of different stuff to you. But we have a really smart quarterback in Dylan. He can try to get us in the right play. He can try to get us in the right protection when he's fooled. He's done a great job. He's completing 70-some% of his passes, yet he hasn't thrown an interception, and really only one that even had a chance to be intercepted. So he's a really, really smart football guy. You would love him. He's a football guy. He's in here all week studying. Like last week, we finished the game last week. I went to Vegas to watch Bud Crawford, and he's texting me pictures of him in his house. He's already watching Michigan. He's trying to outwork me, and so I respect our quarterback Dylan quite a bit. So it'll be a great chess match, him versus that Michigan defense with what they do.
Hey, Coach, hope you're enjoying Allegiant Stadium in Big Las Vegas. This is what I got going on. How about Bud? obviously a Nebraska guy. Anybody can be a nobody. We had him on the show earlier this week, and he was talking about how everybody doubted all the people that he fought in his record, and he basically said anybody can turn into a nobody whenever he looks at it. And I seen you kind of adopted that as well with the messaging that you're sending the players. I think that your strength coach was talking about it in your office.
Yeah, no doubt. Since I've gotten here, I've always known who obviously Terrence Bud Crawford is, but getting to know him, I mean, he's elite. He talked to the team last year, let us out against Colorado, and literally there was no chance we were going to lose once he spoke to the team and he started walking up that tunnel. I was like, man, this is different here, pound for pound king. And then, I went to his send-off, and he had so much respect for Canelo. He was talking about how they're both first ballot Hall of Famers. Yet when they went to the weigh-in, I showed our team, he wasn't talking about if I beat him, if this, if that. I mean, he risked his whole legacy. He was talking about when. He's never even been knocked down. And so we went to that fight, man. I was so fired up, so happy. You talk about a big day for the Cornhuskers, man. I mean, he's got the Nebraska N on his mouthpiece as he's fighting. We go backstage afterwards and see him, and all his guys are all wearing Husker red. I mean, he's loyal, and so it's a great message for our guys, man. No stage is too big for you when you put the work in and you believe in yourself.
Oh, I love that. Coaches being able to utilize anything for their own motivation, for their own team hype is glorious, let alone when you got the guy literally in your backyard. I was talking to people that were in the boxing world a little bit, and they're like, hey, Canelo moved. He's, he's living his life. He's had a couple $100 million for a long time. Maybe things a little bit different. Bud still lives in Omaha. He's got 7 kids. Like, he is, still, I don't want to say in the grind, but still very much like doesn't even realize basically the money or hasn't done any of that. And I picked Canelo to win because I thought he was heavier. On the show, I did that. And I got a call that night from like 3 people that were like, yo. Bud still. Did you see Bud? Did you see what he looked like at the weigh-in? Have you heard the way he's talking? It's like, and he's American. We need him right now. It's like, I messed up. And then you watch that fight, and it's like, in the 9th round, Bud wasn't scared of shit. Bud was like, let's go.
No.
Let's go. He's heavier. He should be a harder puncher than he's ever faced. Yeah, let's go dance here. I could lose the entire fight just with one catch, and instead he stepped right into the fire. It's like massive respect for both of them, but also definitely for Bud. And we saw that end.
Oh, yeah.
We saw that end a lot. In the biggest fight of the century, they're calling it. And right on the mouth. I mean, it's a cool thing for the brand. Good for you. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, you have one of the best play callers in the country, if not the best player caller in the country, a veteran in Dana Holgerson. But it was a very rare move. You brought him in, I think it was week 11 last year. How big was that for him and Dylan to get some actual live game experience last season before spring ball, before summer, and then the offense looks like it's flourished this year?
Yeah, no one had ever really done it. We lost to UCLA a week after playing pretty well against Ohio State, and I called him and said, hey, I need you here. I need you to get this fixed. The guys are working hard, but we need something moving forward. And so I think it was pivotal because Dana had to decide if he wanted to be here this year, and he finished that year out and he said, yeah, I'm all in for this. Like, can him and I work together? And it's been an unbelievable relationship. And then he and Dylan, I mean, every team in the country came in and recruited Dylan. Hey, come play for us. Come play for us. And he believed in what we're doing. He's a Husker, but he also believed in Dana. And so I think that time, and then we kept the staff. Like I said to Dana, do you want to change anybody out? How do you feel? And he's like, no, I like these guys. They're good coaches. We'll make this work. And so it's to me, it's been a unusual move, but one I'm glad we made because everyone came back this year and we're significantly better.
I bet Dana loves just being able to focus on the offense side of the ball than all the bullshit that comes with being a head coach too at this stage of his career.
Yeah, a couple times I said to him, like, what do you think? And he'll give me both perspectives. Like, well, you can do this, but that's your job now. He walked away. He's so happy.
Where's my Red Bull at? That's right. Let me go ahead and do that. I got to worry about one side of the ball for you. That sounds like a you problem right there, buddy. I've been there before. He was great offensively for West Virginia and obviously down in Houston, and him just being able to lock in on that without having to deal with all the politics and all the handshaking and everything like that feels like it's great for him. Sounds like it's great for you as well. Connor has a question for you, Coach.
Coach, with the last 2 weeks being not cupcakes, but teams that aren't ranked like Michigan, it feels like, the videos we saw of you were very rah-rah, getting the team going, making sure they stay locked in. Is it different this week when you're playing in Michigan, where everyone is kind of, zeroed in, laser focused at all times because it is such a tall task? And, you did just mention right there Bud Crawford leading Nebraska out, and you went to Bud's match last week. Can we expect Bud maybe to lead the Nebraska Cornhuskers out on Saturday?
I don't know that. I mean, he. I tried to call him the other day, and he's like, "Hey, I got the McAfee show right now, bro. I don't." People have reached out to me. I mean, I'm talking about superstars that don't know me, but they're called someone out. What he's done is, to your point, it's a fight of the century.
Chappelle, front row.
Yeah.
Going crazy. It's like that's one of the biggest. Yeah, I understand. He's big.
No doubt. I mean, so I don't know how that'll play out. I mean, he's got a lot of things going on, but we know he's the day that he decides to come in, we'll be here ready for him. And I think the thing that the videos that we released, I mean, those were both at halftime. And so to me, leading up to the game, though, you always have a different approach every week depending on who it is. If I have to sit here and yell and scream about, hey, we better be ready, this is I think everyone here knows what the University of Michigan means, and they know how good of a team this is. We better be pretty locked in. For me, that was about at halftime, being like, hey, this isn't good enough. And year one, I couldn't have done that, with all the team. Year two, we kind of could, but some guys have been like, why is he saying this? Year three, you see our players. I mean, it's one thing when they show me, but our players are saying, hey, this isn't good enough. And so we understood playing the teams we faced. We're trying to get ready for the Big Ten because the Big Ten is a different animal, and it starts this week. We've been working to get ready.
On that note, Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, I believe the Big Ten is currently 42-5 or something like that in that neck of the woods. And a lot of people, there's
top
still
15 teams, I think.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. There's still a lot of the talk about, the SEC being the superior conference, and then people were even cherry picking early in the year saying, hey, look at all the cupcakes the Big Ten teams are playing. But every week when you have a game like this, does it almost, because we know who's at the top of the Big Ten currently, and we have a couple teams, you guys are one of those teams who are kind of right there. Does it feel like a lot of these games are almost like playoff eliminators? So because every week in the Big Ten you're going to have a team that, hey, if we don't play well, we're going to get beat, and we might only have one or two opportunities for the rest of the year to actually solidify our chances of being in the playoff.
Yeah, I think the SEC is an elite conference. I think the Big Ten's an elite conference. I think two things can be true, right? I think the one thing that the SEC has done a great job of is they've branded themselves as the SEC. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the last 25 years, I think 4 teams have won national championships. You guys I might be wrong. Yet when we talk about the SEC, we talk about all the other teams as well. It's not just the Alabamas, the Georgias, the LSUs, the Floridas. It's the whole league. And so people, the tier of guys that are 9-3, 10-2, they still get a lot of street cred when we do the voting and all that. You look at Illinois last year, took Penn State down to the wire. They finished 9-3, and they're barely in the conversation. And the Big Ten, we talk a lot about the top 4 teams, but this is I said on a podcast to House Rules, not the free shout out, just joking. But I said Division I football is the only football league where weather doesn't have an impact in the offseason, in the postseason. Like in the NFL, being in Buffalo, being in New England, being in Kansas City when it's cold, you have to play through people's homes. In the FCS, Montana, North Dakota State, those places matter. The Big Ten, man, you gotta go on the road. You gotta play in the weather. You gotta play in different. We're trying to plan out going to Maryland and coming back and we're going all over the country. And so I think as a league, we have to do a great job of talking about the Big Ten, not just Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Oregon. Those are great teams, but Illinois, Indiana, USC. Washington played for the national championship 2 years ago. Hopefully us. I mean, there's a lot of them. So to your point, you don't have a lot of free chances if you're not in that upper conversation, but there's really good teams in the Big Ten. And I think the Big Ten's really strong top to bottom.
Yeah, I think the conversation is going to change. I've mentioned this a couple different times. I don't know if you've heard me say it, so if I said it to you, I apologize for repeating myself. But all of a sudden, whenever the ranking happens at the end of the season and the college football playoff is being talked about, we have an SEC team, a good SEC team, traveling into Big Ten. And the style of roster that you have to have in the Big Ten at that time in the most important ball certainly paid off. Going to have to be a little bigger, can't be as fast. You got to have a little bit more physicality. You can't just run 4.3s everywhere because it might be negative 55 degrees or whatever the hell it was at Ohio State for that game. So interesting dynamic, obviously being added into it. Everybody understands Big Ten and SEC are at the top. but the Big 12 got Rich Rod. Let's not forget that. And the ACC, we'll see how it goes. Hey, last question here quickly, because I need to get your opinion on this. I've talked to a couple different coaches now about the transfer portal going from 2 times a year, both in December, January, and then also in May or April. I forget which one, a spring and a winter one. They've cut it down to just one transfer portal, and it'll be the one in the winter, okay? What are your thoughts on the December, January, in the middle of college football playoff transfer portal being the only transfer portal window? And what are your thoughts on going from 2 to 1? It feels like everybody's on board with that.
Yeah, I think it needed to go to 1. You know, you would negotiate with a player, and all power to the players, but you would negotiate with a player in December, January, and then have to renegotiate 3 months later when there's no, you haven't done anything. So that doesn't happen in the NFL. And so it should be once a year. You make a decision, and then you play that year out. Number 2, and most of the Big Ten coaches wanted it in April and May because, we pay the guys July 1st to June 30th. So in the NFL, like the league year ends, you get paid for the year. We're going to have in college football, we're going to have players getting paid by 2 different teams in the same year. That doesn't make any sense to me. And we're doing it that way because basketballs, everyone's using the same money. So it doesn't make as much sense, but I would have had the portal in the middle of September for all I care to get one portal. It's better for the players. They don't need to be transferring twice or in the spring. I mean, I just think it's way better, but I would have done it in May. I think the playoffs should never be touched by players saying to themselves, am I staying? Am I going? Last year, Penn State's backup quarterback left in the middle of a playoff run because he had to do what was right for him. I'm not saying anything about LeBeau. Just those things shouldn't happen, in my opinion, with the portal. But some really powerful coaches wanted it. They wanted it in January, and no one asked me.
Okay, so on that note, everybody I talked to would have preferred the April-May one. Everybody preferred 2 to 1.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, to only have one. Everybody agreed on that. But everybody, to your point, was like, the one in after spring feels like, so we know what we have, and then also we don't worry about the playoff conversation. Nonetheless, it'll all get figured out, right? Always does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see.
Always does.
You're the man. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Nebraska Cornhusker football team, taking on Michigan this weekend in the Bussin' Bowl, Matt Rule.
You want this? You got that? No way.
Oh, shoot. I think I'm still on. Usually planes have like some sort of clock. We are moving right along. We're crossing into Missouri right now. All right, let's see what Bryce Underwood has to say about
Bryce, I want to start with this, man. Out of high school, you got compared to Josh Allen. Is that a better comp, or is Batman more so a comp for you from a one Biff Poggi? Who would you compare yourself to between those two?
I mean, Batman that was the first time I ever heard somebody compare me to Batman. So it's like, it's a win-win, honestly. So I take that.
I mean, Batman probably would be the way that I would lean if anyone ever compared me to Bruce Wayne. But I mean, a lot of people are talking about you on the field and obviously your story getting to Michigan and all those things. Like, I think people forget, like, you're still a college student. You're still a freshman. What's been the biggest adjustment for you when it comes to college life? So off the field, what's been the biggest adjustment?
Honestly, the biggest adjustment for me outside of college and school, University of Michigan being the best program in some of college history, honestly, and just having that as like a backup plan if there was one for me, just to lean on to after football, of course.
So, Bryce, for me, like, caffeine got me through college. I know Celsius is making this interview possible. Are you like a 9 a.m. Celsius guy? Is Celsius on the bedside table? We crack one open before we get to it. Like, when does the Celsius window for Bryce Underwood?
We have to go with the before Bryce gets ready to take the field, so we can.
Really? Okay. Like a little sip? Or are we going full shotgun Celsius to the dome? How does that work?
We can't go the full thing because who knows? I might just I don't know what'll happen if I drink a full thing of Celsius. So.
That's very fair. A lot of adrenaline, I have to imagine, before we take the field. But I got to ask this too, because I think there's a lot of different takes out there as to like how big you actually are now on your college roster. Like your roster says 6'4", 228. You look bigger than that to me. Can we get an official measurement on Bryce Underwood, the quarterback for Michigan, now officially on this show?
I just weighed out of practice at 227, so probably like 230, 231, 229, somewhere around those areas.
Okay. Good to hear. Okay, we'll have the remaining on our side. But man, how's it been adjusting to college football? Has it been harder or easier than you expected?
It's been fun. That's the biggest comparison, honestly. Having way more fun than I expected to have, honestly. Watching college football as a kid, it was just like, who knows how difficult this possibly can be when I get this much older, you know. Just excited to be able to go in and go out every single week and showcase my talents.
These dudes 6'4".
You mentioned fun.
230.
Are we throwing on the backflip anytime soon? Because I know that was something you threw down
Get
the 7-on-7s in high school. Is that going to make an appearance here at some point? Maybe this weekend in Lincoln?
Coach
I don't know.
Moore, the first day I got here, Coach Moore straight said no backflips. I have no time for you getting hurt. That's unfortunate. So who knows if it might come or not? It still might be a possibility because sometimes it gives me a pass here or there. So it might.
Yeah, no backflip policy is not something I don't think a lot of coaches across college football have to worry about, but it's something you have to worry about at Michigan. It's a Champaign problem. You spoke to getting to Michigan early and all the work you put in before. Obviously, you got announced the starter pretty close to that first game. Was there ever a moment, though, for you, whether it was during spring ball or fall camp, where you're like, hey, I know it's not official yet, but I feel like I got this. Was there a moment like that for you?
Honestly, we have a great quarterback room, so it was us pushing each other every single day. So I feel like the competitiveness of this, bringing it out of each other was just honestly amazing. So it was really exciting between the whole room to be announced to start the quarterback. But to answer your question, no, not really. It was just a blessing. So.
Man, what's Biff Poggi like? He seems awesome, like on this side of things, just hearing him in an interview. What's he like in the building, and what's it been like these past 2 weeks going into this week against Nebraska?
He's a great guy, of course. He loves us as like we was his own kids, of course. So I really appreciate him stepping up, taking the role for the moment, and keeping the same leadership as all of each coach on our staff. So,
do you feel like there's any change for you leadership-wise, being the guy going into a week like this, where I know there is a change at the head coaching spot for y'all these upcoming, this upcoming week and the last week? Any change on your plate when it comes to leadership there?
Honestly, just being who I am. When we are the best us and the most connected team in the country, I feel it's a lot that can't be in front of us, honestly. So.
What's the mindset going into this game? Because I think everyone talks about the environment in Lincoln and the sellout streak, and obviously Nebraska's playing well right now. What's the mindset for yourself going into a game like this?
Just do what I do every single day going into the game. Be the best me in practice. Leading our team, keeping our energy up during practice. That's our main goals. Being the most connected team, being a team. Individual stats really isn't the main thing or thought process going into games. It's about being the most connected team, bringing each other together, and being the best as we can possibly be. So,
Bryce, you spoke to energy right there. One thing that brings energy, well, trash talk. All right. Now, I've heard some other people mention that maybe, just maybe, like dished out a little bit during practice on the field. Who are you talking the most trash to during practice on the defense for Michigan?
Trey Williams.
Okay, why is that?
I don't know. He's the closest.
He's
right in the middle. I see a big number 0, and why not? And then it goes to Jay Sean.
Okay, so you're going after the big boys up front, man. What are we saying to them? Are we making jokes about them not being able to touch you back there, or what's the go-to trash talk between those two guys?
Nah, I never make a joke about my linebackers or D-linemen not being able to touch me, because I feel like that's unfair. Because you're not allowed to take quarterbacks in practice, so it's it's pretty unfair for me to talk trash. And if they had the opportunity to, so just having fun, motivating them to honestly be better every single play, pushing my own linemen to be the best they can possibly be as well. So I feel like overall everything's just beneficial for the team.
Yeah, I was speaking to them just like physically being able to catch you. But yeah, the non-contact jersey, that would be a tough look if you're going to go in and know that you can't touch me out on the trash talk side. But speaking of trash talk, man, there is a clip of you speaking to Rich Eisen, essentially telling LeBron, like, hey, man, it's up for Ohio State here. Has there been any follow-up between you and one LeBron James since that moment?
Honestly, I came across LeBron James at their game. I forgot.
Or they just sit here and put
it was after the game or whatever. So it was an in-person interaction. So yeah.
But no follow-up since then. No second since. Okay, I just got to make sure. Good to know. Good to know. But the Ohio State rivalry, obviously massive for y'all. I'm sure it's something that gets talked about all year long for both sides of that thing. But you being a kid from Michigan, what did that rivalry mean for you even before getting to Michigan? Like as a kid, are we watching the game on Saturday mornings and things of that nature? What was that like for you growing up being around that rivalry?
I just knew it was the biggest rivalry in sports history, and it still is to this day, of course. So just knowing my home state is willing to fight and defend and do anything that's possible to not only beat Ohio State, but be the best us we can possibly be. It's just, life-changing for me, honestly, to see growing up, because I played for a Little League football team that was the Motor City Marines, so it showed, that's how you do it, I guess. So.
Well, I mean, it's got to be a cool feeling to be able to look back at those pictures of you in the winged helmet and now playing for the winged helmet against that team. I know that's got to be exciting for you, man. When you speak to just the progress you've made to this point, being a starting quarterback in college football, going into start number 4, from start number 1 to this upcoming game, what's the progress point for you where you're like, hey, I think I've gotten a lot better at X, Y, and Z thing?
I would say being a better leader vocally, because I feel like coming in, of course, who wants to listen to a freshman? Of course, until I realized the quarterback is the leader of the team. He is the captain of the team, even without the C on his chest. So just that being my main thing now, going into every single snap, every single play, every single second of the game is the biggest shift, the biggest mindset change.
When was that shift for you? Was it sometime during fall camp, or was it a point during the first couple games of the season? When did that shift happen, and did somebody help you in that process of doing that?
I would say the first day of fall camp, honestly, and Max Bredesen really was my biggest shift factor. it's been around people. I don't know how it got out. He was my roommate for fall camp, so yeah. So just having and keeping a bond with Max throughout the entire time.
Is he snoring?
Wait,
No, these two are just sitting here. Not even talking about the game. All right. We are over St. Joe all of a sudden. Yeah, we are moving on. Shoot. I believe we passed top of descent. We did. So let's get this thing down. All right, we should start the descent. All right, wind 2909. 44 minutes ago. Temperature of 20. I don't know what the fuck. All right, got our landing data. $177. Lincoln is 118.5. Oops. All right, let's make sure I'm ready to go to my haircut. The minimum is 200 feet. Oh, that's the 3005. Coming into the Heartland. Seatbelt shit all ready to roll. Seatbelts. Get your seatbelts on. Shut the door. EPU going. Getting down to 10,000 feet. Plane will start to decel down to 250. City of Lincoln, somebody down there. Here's the downtown area just to the left there. There's a chance we might be able to see the stadium. Lincoln traffic. Wheels up, 93. Go Big Red. About 12 miles to the southeast. Inbound for the ILS Yankee runway 18 approach. Passing 8,000. Lincoln traffic. Making a radio call there, just trying to be goofy. Downtown. State Capitol. There. State right. You're gonna turn. I don't know if I'll have time on the deal to actually taxi in into the gate. We'll see.
But she rocks that headset, she runs this beat. I'm Captain Husker, skybound strong. Flying high, singing big red songs from kickoff time to touchdown dance. It's like at home, like me on this chance. Go big red, that's how we roll. With heart, grit, and football soul. Tell great delusions, bring their best. We're sweeping like the rest. Football's king on a Saturday night. Volleyball queens bring that Midwest fight. Black shirts blitz like a tailwind gale. We light it up when we hit that trail. Go Pilots, you got that ghost like sass. She'll call my rude, then smack my dash. Got a throttle in hand and a stake on my back. And a YouTube butterfly high in the back. Southwest 420 big chill mode. Iowa, Michigan, we overload.
Turn to
But
final.
guys talk, we let them whine while we circle back and fly. Captain Huskers, proud and loud, touching down through a red-clad crowd. We bring the heat and the tailgate smoke, and leave Big Ten dreams up in smoke. Go big reds, I'd bite and metal in veins, rings, and everything. We'll take off clear to final trip. This flight is go.
You're down.
Big Red.
Stop the music. Lincoln traffic. Wheels up 93, 10 miles out. Final for 1-8. bouncy. Outer marker. See the satellite imagery. Photos of the plane. Alright, we're on final. Getting ready to land. I'll get back on a little bit and doing the Nashville flights. Might skip that one, I don't know, we'll see. It's in the same plane, so it's kind of boring. Maybe I'll put him on a BBJ. Husker BBJ. And then the Michigan football team coming in. I either have a 747, but they have there's a livery online that I thought was cool. So it's either 747 or A380 or the A350. They're actually flying in on a 757, which I don't have. This is a super long runway, so I'm just going to coast down onto it. Oh man, I didn't hear the thing counting down or nothing. So that's great. There's usually a countdown. On my okay.